Hey YouTube, thanks for tuning back in. Chase Games here, and today I've got one more video in me before I go back out on the road, and it is a tier list because that's what all the new players need, and I figured I could do that for you guys before I slink back into my semi-retirement. So let's get going. Let's try not to... I can't not be long-winded on these, but I'm going to try to go a bit faster. Let's just start with, and I'm going to mention which things you can get as a new player. I'm not going to go into the tiers too much. The tiers are fairly obvious. Okay, S is better than A, etc. Alright, let's start off with this guy, though. Okay, number one. Look, I really don't give a crap about this guy, but he's now going to be the strongest unit in the game. He's OP. He's what you should reroll for. So if you're a new player, make sure you get this guy. If you like DQ6, all the better. I guess he's like the super boss from that game. I don't know who he is. He's just some muscle guy in a Speedo. But anyway, he's the most OP unit. So go ahead and grab that guy. Now, from a real Dragon Quest game, Dragon Warrior, in fact, my favorite game. Alright, you got the Dragon Lord. Okay, he is insane. And let's go ahead and just... right now, let's put his counterpart up there too. They're both top tier, and you can get both of them in the villain banner. These are basically the first event units that we got in this game, and they are still incredible. They Dragon Lord was recently bloomed. True form was the Castro form not far before that, but blooms are still relatively new. Anyway, they made them both go from still irrelevant to get this top tier. So Dragon Lord is great, insane single target potential with his Hellfire Blast. He's got a 5 tile wide ranged AoE Zam attack. Dragon Lord can regen HP when you hit him. He's got a buttload of HP. He's got strong breath attack, so he does AoE. Now he's got a strong single target frizz breath attack. The longer the battle goes, the more his up to a triple stack. He gets every 3 turns his breath attack gets stronger. So by turn 9, he's doing a buttload of damage. Okay, so he's just awesome. All right, going on. Juliante, we don't have her bloom yet. They're probably going to make us wait till next spring for it or something. JP got her bloom very early. Unfortunately, they count her as an event unit, and the way they seasonal unit, and the way they handle seasons in this game sucks, because we get everything in the proper season. We're about 6 months behind JP, so, Halloween, for example. When JP got Halloween, their game was like 3 or 4 months old. When we got JP or Halloween, our game was 10 months old. So the unit JP got for Halloween, they also gave us for Halloween. And, well, it's a gotcha. So 6-month outdated unit, especially with the game being this new, not great. However, Juliante is a decent unit. She's got an AoE attack buff, decent bang damage. Honestly, I'm actually going to put her down here right now. But when she blossoms, she'll probably be top tier again. I don't think that she'll actually be available during the anniversary. She might be on the 10 the free 10 multis. I think she'll be included there, but she won't be on the hero or villain card. All right, Queen Slime, she's outdated. I heard that she had use for a while. She was not popular when she came out. She can drag things, but that's a lot more common now. I'm not even... She might be D tier now. I've heard she's very fast and tanky, so she's probably still C. I just haven't had the urge to put orbs in her. But, yeah, anyway. Lionheart's a bit better. In fact, with the Blossom Doors, he actually went up in my opinion because he's fairly meta there. He's got he's got a strong Whoosh attack that lowers defense, and a pretty strong zap attack. So he's fairly good. Honestly, I might have been tempted to put him lower if he weren't so good on a lot of the Blossom Doors. Zoma, for the longest time, this guy was, oh, top tier, top tier. He's still great. If you get this guy on the villain banner, you should be very happy. But I'm going to put him down to A tier now. Yeah, just he's got a strong non-elemental attack and a very strong AoE, crack attack. I'm not sure how the strength on that compares to Santa Crystalinda, but hers is single target, if that matters. Alright, so Beramos. I'm actually going to put Beramos top tier now. The only reason I don't love him more is because Bang is extremely common right now. Like, literally everything comes with a Bang spell, it feels like now. But he got blossomed recently, so he's got, besides the fact that he got a little bit stronger, he got move 3. We don't have any strong casters with move 3 right now. Anybody that wants to tell me about Bone Baron, we've gone over this before, A-rank casters are garbage. So, no, we don't have any. The exception is the Prince of Kanik, who right now I'm going to say he's A tier. He has 3 move, and he has Sizzle, but he's just not strong enough, wisdom-wise. Anyway, he's got an AoE breath attack. It doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but it has a decent chance to confuse things, and if the attack does confuse something, besides doing, I think, 400 to 500 damage to it, it has a occasional chance to confuse, which I believe is 40%. If they're super weak, that's 80%. He also gets 2 10% boosts to confusion. I don't know how that factors in with those numbers. I doubt it brings it to 100%. But anyway, he will have a really good chance to confuse things if they're not immune. And if he does confuse something, he hits it with Necro Boom. So he's going to do some big bang damage to it as well. Aside from confusing it, which is a very strong status condition, so he's very strong. And the very fact that he still is a strong bang caster with move 3 is a huge deal. Don't underestimate this guy's Blossom. So if you get him on the villain banner, again, be very happy. This one, I'm gonna put her down to C. I only just drew her. I've not been able to see any of her potential. We've got enough Zam damage now. Casters aren't really that strong right now. They've kind of just like... Casters were OP when the game launched, and they've really just made melee characters OP since then. It's like that meme, like, they're already dead, stop. That's casters in DQT right now. Like, they're dead, and they're still stomping on their corpse. Anyway, I'm sure that Valencia has some use, but right now she doesn't feel that useful to me. Alright. Elena, some people probably say that she's top tier. I'm gonna go ahead and leave her at A. She's probably better than Zoma now with her Bloom. I'm not putting too much thought into the order here, guys, but sometimes I will. Anyway, she got an extra move out of her thing, out of her Blossom. I'm sure she's got a little bit more sustainability, especially with her evasion. I think the evasion only works on standard or physical and martial abilities. I'm not sure, but she's dodgy. She does more damage. She's got a surrounding AoE attack right now, so she's a lot stronger, but still not one of my favorites. I do need to blossom her, though. Kirill got blossomed. He has some use, I'm sure. He's got a great buff attack, I believe. But for the most part, he's just... he's a great example of one thing that's important to realize in this game, is that hybrid characters suck. I do like the Prince of Kanik, but he's mostly a physical guy. That spell is just a nice little damage for when he's out of reach of things. By the way, about Prince of Kanik, because I went on him pretty fast, he's a good Sizz user. Sizz is still relatively rare in this game, but yeah, I like him. He is surprising me. Okay. So anyway, the Kirill, he's a hybrid. He's a healer. We have way better healers. Okay. And he's not that great at damage, and he's not that great at healing. So he just doesn't really have a purpose. Hybrids, your character's generally going to be doing one thing on a stage. So hybridizing them doesn't really help that much when they're not very good at one thing. Sora right now. A couple months ago, I would have said S tier. I'm going to go ahead and say A. He's very good. He's probably better than Zoma. I don't know about Elena. But, his Magic Reflect Shield just wasn't as OP as we all thought it would be because you just don't target him. Also, just casting sucks right now. So, I mean, when you're talking about PvE, it's a different story. I mean, casters can still be very strong there, but again, they generally just don't target him. He is useful in some strats. I see a lot of guides use him for Viz Major, but again, it's really not as OP as you'd think. It only lasts for 3 turns. His damage is good. He's pretty strong, but like, he's not S tier. He's not like, oh my god. He is a very good unit that you should be very happy to see. And you do need an awakening on him to get his 3rd movement, which is very important. I'm very tired of that mechanic. I'm hoping they move away from it. Draguar. This is a general unit, so you can get him anywhere. So don't be, this is another unit where it's like, oh, I got him. You're going to get him eventually anyway, so if that's affecting your decision to reroll, don't let it. I'm going to say he's B tier. He's fairly strong. He has, his first awakening gives him the ability, the perk Sporadic Attack Prep, I believe it's called. He's got an occasional chance, which again I believe is 40%. He's got a 40% chance to get a double attack buff. That's huge. He has a very strong single target A-rank Whoosh Strike, the same one that is on Saber Cub. The D-rank Saber Cub Blossom is literally a D-rank version of this Draguar, and not as scaled down as you would think. Okay? Not as scaled down as you would think. He's very strong. And so is this Draguar. I haven't gotten mine ranked up yet. I put 1 orb into him today. I'm working on him. But yeah, he's strong, but, not much. And I'm going to put him next to Lionheart. These guys are really close to being the same thing. Lionheart can lower defense. Draguar's got 1 more movement. I think Draguar is going to put out a lot more damage. So I would rank him before Lionheart. But Lionheart is kind of meta in the Blossoming Doors. Okay. The Brides. Let's do the Brides together. I think they're all B tier. I think they're all underwhelming. They're all very exciting when they came out. For a new player especially, again, this is not advice to reroll for, but if you're a new player and you get Nara, well, you probably won't, because you should be going for the villain banner first. But if the banners are up long enough that you can get her the heroes as well. Or you might get her in the free tickets. Anyway, Nara is great for a new player. She's got a very strong single target heal. She's got 2 A-rank spells of different abilities. But she's just a bit underwhelming. Bianca is a good zap user, because there aren't many zap users, but she's just not that strong. Her counterattack, she was one of the first units to have a counterattack, and it's fairly weak. I think they made it weak to be careful, to make her not too overpowered, and they scaled her down a little too much. She's pretty quick, so she can take out units that are weak to her pretty quick, but no. And her oomph, she has a double attack buff that she can use on herself or other units. It's very strong, but with Seraphi being a thing, there are enough AoE attack buffs. With everything being all physical right now, AoE attack buffs are better than a single double buff. So even that's not as strong as it used to be. And then Deborah had her moment in the... well, I don't know what she's like going... I'm not going to say that she's useless now, but there was a moment where, like last time I put her A tier, and maybe she still is, but I'm just going to keep the Brides together. Where on paper she doesn't look that strong to me, but because there are so very few Sizz units, especially before the Prince came out, that her element, her resistances, and her attacking element just put her in a really important spot in a lot of meta stuff. So she was great in the meta. I haven't been able to use her ranked up yet, but I don't know. I think she's probably a solid B right now. Nimzo. I'm gonna go ahead and throw Nimzo up at A, just because he's important. Okay, now I have not been able to awaken this guy. I just have one copy of him. I only just ranked him up. His damage is meh. Okay, he does a single target for his breath attack. Why is he important right now? He's becoming meta in the later blossoming doors, I believe, because he has an AoE attack and wisdom debuff with and the thing about it is it's not occasional, it's often, which I think is 50% or higher. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he has an AoE debuff that is very strong. So that's just good enough with him. He also has when he awakens, he has a Frizz counter attack, which I believe is a little stronger than Bianca's. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, he's a decent unit. This is not not something to reroll for, not one of your priorities to orb up, because this list should also act as kind of more than who to reroll for. There's only one answer right now, really. It's Nocturnus, maybe Seraphi, this is more about who to orb first, I guess. Nimzo is not one of those things. Nimzo is going to be like, you should order up some of these B things before him, but when you're starting to tackle the later Blossom doors, you're going to want to rank him up. King Shi Slime. You know what? He's going up to S tier. Sorry. First of all, he's in the general pool, so you're going to get him. Alright, you're going to get him awakened pretty quickly. And here's another thing that I really like about him that I only just figured out. And kind of fixes one of the problems I had with him. And this is all going on his Blossom, of course, because this was one of the most useless units we had. His Blossom, he really only needs one node of that Blossom to be good. Just teach him the move. Now, if you want him to be good in Arena, give him the Agility nodes too. Those will take him to the next level. Then you don't have to use his equipment slots to put Agility on him. And that's really all you want, because I didn't like him for Arena with the Headstrong, or with the Blow Away counterattack. I thought that could ruin some matches. Granted, he's probably already done a lot of damage to those things, but if you blow something away from you in Arena, that means you're not going to be able to hit it as easily. It means you might be going around 3 or 4. You don't have to teach that to him. So if you want other things blossomed first, which I don't blame you for, the nice thing about him is that of the 4 nodes he has, you only have to do the one. And he's basically just as strong. Okay, one of the nodes gives his attacks a chance at physical locking. It's very rare, so it's a slight chance. Let me see. One is for the counter attack, which can be nice, but you might not want it anyway because it can screw things up. The counter attack will blow things away from him. And then the extra agility. Sometimes agility doesn't matter. So anyway, once again, if you teach him his move through the Bloom talents, he's got most of his Blossom strength. So besides that, he's going to be, he's tankier and faster than I thought he'd be. So just teach him the move, and I think you'll be impressed. Okay, a Stark, very strong unit. He's basically right behind Nocturnus. His biggest problem is that he doesn't have a lot of range. Granted, depending on how things are, he has a 5 tile wide Zam attack. It's the physical version of what the Dragon Lord has. The problem is that his is, melee, and he has to have the unit right in front of him as well. So, he can hit things to the side, but he still has to have a target directly in front of him. So yeah, very strong unit. He's got a self-heal, so he's very hard to take down. Not an arena unit. But this is the unit that you'll probably want to use your beginner's mission ticket on. The first year... Now, this happened in JP. We're only assuming that we're getting it in Global. But when the anniversary starts, they should be refreshing the beginner missions. And when you do that, you will get a ticket that allows you to pick any hero or villain unit that was out, I think, DQ2 or earlier, so everything that's a couple months old at this point. And one of those units is a Stark. That's probably the best thing to use your ticket on. I'll probably use mine on Malroth. But anyway, let's talk about Malroth then. Malroth is... I don't know, I've heard S tier on this guy. I don't have him. He's got a big old zap attack. I'm just going to say that he's A. I think he's very strong. I think his ability is so MP intensive that he doesn't last very long, but that doesn't always matter. I don't know. I've shouted other people down for ranking units lower because of MP costs, but that's if they were arena units. That guy is not an arena unit. Granted, you don't want to see him in arena, but offensively in arena, he's not very good. Okay, so anyway, maybe I'm ranking this guy too low, but he is fairly strong. All right, Seraphi. Oh my god, dude, she's on the top. Like, we got to keep Nocturnus on top, but there is. Dude, you might be better off re-rolling for Seraphi than Nocturnus. I don't know. And I'm not exaggerating here at all. She is the best healer. To say that she's the best healer is... She's OP as a healer. Like, that's not usually a problem, but she outclasses every other healer so much that this game should literally have 2 sections of guides, with Seraphi or without. There are very few times where she's not the best healer, okay? And sometimes she's so much better that, like, she's mandatory for some content, or so close that it feels like it. Alright, this game is less fun if you don't have Seraphi. Now, we might be getting away from that problem a little bit. We've got, like, Gem Slime. He is going to be better in some scenarios. I'm going to go ahead and throw him at A tier. I'll talk about him in a second. But Seraphi is so OP right now. You could argue that you should start with her before Nocturnus. Unfortunately, she is not a hero or boss unit, so she can't be gotten with that free ticket I just talked about. But anyway, when you start playing, I can't really tell you when. I don't know what opportunity you'll have, but Seraphi, hopefully she's added to the general banners soon, but she is an extremely important unit, and as far as I know in JP, she still has not been outdone. Okay, Gem Slime, right now, we've got him on current banners right now. He'll be up for a little while longer. If you get this guy with your tickets, that's awesome, but don't worry about him. He's got a pretty strong type neutral AoE attack. If he had 3 movement, I would be a lot more excited about that attack. But as he is right now, he's good. I haven't really tested out his tank. I've just leveled him in his battle road. He's resistant to everything but Zam. I don't know how big a deal that is. He probably doesn't have a lot of HP. I forgot to look. But his AoE heal is apparently extremely strong, which doesn't matter as much as you might think. Besides it being very strong, it heals status conditions, so if you're in a fight with a lot of status conditions, he is actually better than Seraphi. So you got that going. And I can't remember if he probably buffs a stat or something like that. I can't remember if he has a buff or something like that, but he is a good healer. So sometimes you'll actually be able to use him instead of Seraphi. Alright, Princess of Moonbrook. What do they call her? Pudding or something? No, that's the JP. Whatever. Paranal? Yeah, I hate that name. So, Moonbrook. I'm going to say that she's B tier. With a First Awakening, she has an interesting ability. She can restore 10 MP a turn for the first 10 turns to your teammates. I think that's only things within 2 tiles of her. But it's an interesting ability. Like, on the giant boss battles, that's a very good ability. She does Zap and... Is it Zap and Bang? Like I said, everything has a Bang spell now. But she does Bang. She's got a one-time heal. I think she doesn't get it till turn 3, and it boosts stats too, but, you know, a heal that you can only use once is kind of meh. So she's a neat character, but not that strong. Hargan, I'm going to put Hargan at, like, the top of B. The guy is really not too exciting. I probably would have put him... I put him A tier before when Zam was a little less common. Again, he has Zam and, surprise, a Bang spell. So he's pretty well. I don't even have him awakened yet, and he does some decent damage. He's a good caster, okay? Nothing Nothing to write home about, but he's a good caster. Yeah, it's about it. I've gotten some use out of him, so he's not trash, but unfortunately casters aren't that strong right now. And Zam is not the special thing that it was before. Alright, Overkilling Machine. We'll go ahead and put this guy up here in A tier. He's a very strong physical unit. Does a strong... he's got good range. He's got a good kit. He's a very strong arena unit. So a lot of his value is that he's only 50 points. But yeah, he's very good. Great Dragon. Okay, this guy is... there's probably going to be too many of these Bloom units up in S tier, but Great Dragon is very strong. He got another movement. He got a Breath AoE attack, and it got strengthened with all of his blossoming perks, nodes and whatnot. So yeah, he does a very strong AoE Crack Breath. He was already very fast. He probably got some more HP and durability out of it, so he's a very strong unit. Okay, now finally down to a really useless unit, Archdemon. Archdemon is literally 110% useless. Don't orb this guy, okay? Rank him up only for, take him to S3 or S4 just for the family rank. But he will get a Blossom in a couple of months. JP just got his Blossom, and it looks like he could actually be pretty strong, depending on how his move works. Anyway, he's going to be pretty good then. Yeah, not yet. So just don't worry about him blossoming until we actually get the Blossom. He is complete garbage tier. Not necessarily because he is the worst. It's just that everything has a bang attack right now. There's so many good bang units right now. Just this vanilla, he's probably weak. I've never ranked him up, but he's got 2 movement, and his Kaboom spell, that's his big thing, is range 2. So he's got 1 crappy spell, and again, his stats are probably nothing special either, so he's just completely worthless. Do not rank him up in any scenario, okay? Not even like, oh, well, he's going to get a Bloom, so I should rank him up. Worry about it when the Blossom comes out. Trust me, it doesn't take long to level things up, okay, guys? He's worthless. White King. White King, I listed high so long, and we've just, we've hit another, power tier since then. So he's just, an average unit now. His later skill is not, oh, there we go. Sorry. Music, I don't even know if you guys can hear the music. Sorry, I didn't worry too much about my audio levels. Okay. Yeah, White King used to be a lot more OP. His later skill was pretty important. But it's really just not a big deal anymore. He's still strong, but you probably don't want to orb this guy anymore. I used to say new players he is a top priority to rank and all that stuff. Not really. He's fine. He still has uses, but no, you've got... If you're starting now, or if you've only been playing a month or 2 ago, you have way better things to use your orbs on. I guarantee you've pulled better than White King. Alright, Prism Peacock. I mean, he's got to be A tier. He's good. He's got a Blossom. I don't know what his damage looks like because nobody's actually blossomed this guy. He is the worst Blossom. But he's still good. So if you're a new player and this is you've got some blossoming materials one way or another, and you don't have other things that you need them for, I'm sure he's very good. But yeah, he's just... I don't know. I can't really tell you. Killing Machine. Okay, this guy was the first banner. In fact, you should still have the retry banner. They haven't gotten rid of it yet, so it's only for new players. It's once only, and that is not how you reroll, by the way, with the Killing Machine banner. Okay, that's not how you reroll. It's just just don't worry about that banner until you're done with everything else. Okay, you can go back to that banner whenever. It's gonna be there. But this guy's been added to the general banner now, so you don't really, like, technically, like, if you want to be the most efficient, you actually shouldn't bother with the retry banner at all. Although, it's only 3,000 gems, so you should probably just go ahead and get yourself a couple of copies of general pool units. But at this point, you're going to be using him to start with, King She-Slime, Great Dragon, one of the other Bloom units. You're going to be using his banner, his retry banner, for a Bloom unit. But again, don't worry about that until you don't have better things to spend your gems on. Royal Reptile, I'm going to go ahead and put him down in C tier now. He still has a lot of use. He's still very strong. But if you don't have him ranked up already, don't rank him up. Okay, he's 3 movement. He's got 1 melee attack. That's just not good enough anymore. He's, he still has some use, but I mean, there's just way too many stronger things than Royal Reptile, so don't worry about him. Emperor Slime, I'm gonna say C tier. That might be too kind. He's just, he has like no HP. He has very high defense, but defense only matters against physical attacks in this game. It doesn't help at all against martial, breath, or magic damage. So 3 of the 4 damage types in this game, his defense isn't going to matter. And then he literally only has a couple hundred HP. You're probably only going to be able to use this guy with a cover tank. And the thing is that we just have better healers now. Gem Slime is much better. Seraphi is much better. Kirill, you can say, like, whether Kirill or Emperor Slime is better is up for debate. It's probably Kirill because he can actually take a hit. But if you have a cover tank, I'm going to say Emperor Slime. Yeah, he's not useless yet. Like, you could find a situation where his, he still does a strong heal. He's got his cheer to increase attack and defense in 1 move. But you don't want to use this guy. You don't want to pull him. But maybe he'll get Blossom soon. Alright, Squidzilla, top tier. Like, this guy, amazing. Alright, he zips all over the place. He's extremely agile, fairly tanky, huge damage. He has he's another one where he has a chance at a double attack buff. And when he has that, he hits over 2,000 damage easily if they're weak to bang. Just a super strong guy. He's a great arena unit. One of your first Blossom targets, okay. Hybrid, I get some use out of this guy, but I kind of regret putting orbs into him. I'm just going to say that he's C tier. He has some use, okay. A great unit to put Sweet Breath on because he gets breath tricks, so it makes it a little bit more effective. He's got 4 of movement. He's got a huge agility. As far as I know, he's still the top agility unit, although we do have... There are some units that start with an agility buff, so they do actually go faster than him on the first turn. But for the most part, he's got the fastest agility stat. So there. This guy was actually... I really liked him before. I liked him for a while when everybody else was still hating on him because they weren't smart enough to see how awesome and cool he was. Unfortunately, 2.0 that we got a couple months ago, just with all the blossoms and stuff, we hit like another tier of power. It was like another what do you call it? Like we had a new wave of power plateau, whatever you want to call it, and he's only 2 movement and his attack isn't that high, so he has a nice AoE attack and he's got really high defense, but just 2 movement isn't enough for this guy anymore. So if you need a wall to stand somewhere, he's fantastic. But other than that, he just doesn't really stand up anymore. I'm very excited for this guy to get a bloom, which I was telling people before 2.0, before blossoming came, I'm like, look, there's a reason this guy didn't get a blossom yet. It's because he's not the weakest unit. Okay, there's a lot weaker than him. I think right now, I think they're waiting to give him Blossom, because if they actually make him decently strong, give him another movement or two and a decent attack, his defense is going to be, I mean, now you've got a monster with this insane attack, with this insane defense. So he's still very tanky, but he just needs some more strength and attack movement rather. All right, so Metal Dragon. This guy, super strong. I was a little more stoked on him before. His damage is not insane. It's very strong. He has a chance to lower defense, which only helps other units, by the way. He doesn't actually... Technically, he has a physical attack, but you should never, ever use it. But, yeah, he does great AoE damage. It's type neutral. He's fairly tanky, fairly agile, especially since there's not much that... strengthens typeless martial damage, so you're just going to be putting agility gear on him anyway. He usually goes first for me, and I haven't bothered with his agility nodes, which he does have. He gets a good chunk of agility from his Blossom. Normally I was talking him up way more, but like his damage is only... It's good, very good. He's not knocking things out in one hit in arena. And he's like, in PvE, you're only bringing PvE if he resists the stage element generally. But he's very good against giant boss battles. I'd say he's way stronger. He's very strong because, again, he's lowering defense for your physical units. He's doing AoE damage. And then his missile proc, he gets a passive that if an enemy is hit by another unit within his range, he can blast. He can shoot a missile at it, which does less damage than his main attack, but still has the chance to lower defense. So very useful. So when you're fighting a giant boss, that's going to proc often enough, and it can lower his defense. I mean, you probably don't need to bring a unit to lower defense, because a lot of giant boss battles have, they rely on you bringing one unit that just lowers defense, and probably aren't going to need that with Metal Dragon. Okay, Great Troll. This guy is he's tanky. He has a lot of HP, last I knew, but his attack is irrelevant. He's only 2 movement, and there's just not that many stages where you want a unit that only acts as a wall. Generally, you're going to use a cover tank or something else, or no tank at all. So he just has no use. There's probably some people out there that'll say it's not fair to put him at D tier. Oh, I get some use out of him. He can be useful, I'm sure. I believe it. But in reality, he's D tier. Okay, don't rank this guy up. Hell Gladiator. This guy, like, his rank... Let's just throw him down at C, because he has not been used in a while. His entire use is that he has a leader skill that reduces poison resistance. So before, when something was resistant to poison, he could actually make them susceptible to poison. Unfortunately, they've gotten around that on newer units by just giving them a perk that says they're immune to poison. So that gets around his leader skill. But anyway, as far as his own damage, he has the ability to poison himself, but there's much better units. He's only got 2 of movement. I think he's fairly weak offensively and defensively, but I never ranked him up. But that leader skill, you never know when it might be useful. It is useful on some older content that probably still can pose a challenge, I'm not sure. So don't write this guy off, but right now, Matt, you want to have him sitting in your box somewhere, but you probably won't need him anymore. Orgodamir, I don't know. This guy seemed really weak to me. I'm going to leave him at C tier. I don't like him at all. Does he do a Zam attack? I don't know. Zam's becoming pretty common now. It's almost up there with Bang. And then he's got a typeless spell that hits multiple times, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong about him, but I think he's just garbage. Maribel. This is I'm not sure if she'll be on the hero banner or not. She's probably B tier. She's got a single strong target frizz attack, and for a while I thought she'd, like when we first saw her in JP, we thought she'd be important because her spell goes through magic shields, and we saw her right around the time that Sorrow came out, and we thought, well, that's going to be a big deal that she can go through magic shields, because obviously Sorrow is going to be the most OP thing in Arena, and she's going to be a hard counter for him. No, Sorrow's not an Arena unit. So you don't really see Sorrow that much in Arena anymore, and now that everybody's using all physical teams, he's not anything to worry about. You don't need a hard counter for him. You can find a lot better units to use too, so yeah, for those that don't know, there are a lot of units that are things that you don't want to see in Arena, but that doesn't mean you should use them in Arena. There are a lot of units that are better defensively than they are offensively. This Prism Peacock, for example, offensively, not that great. Defensively, I would be very worried about that guy, because if you leave him alive, he's going to damage half your team. For a lot. Okay. Demon King or Godamir, I think he's A tier. I believe that he's fairly tanky. I haven't tested that out on him too much. He does pretty good damage. He's got an attack that's good against all boss type enemies, but it's a non-elemental attack, so it's a high potency, but you probably are doing more with brilliant damage. And he's got a good Zam physical attack with AoE, so he's okay. He's not mind-blowing, but he's pretty good. Let me see. Forest Dragon. I don't like Forest Dragon at all, and I think a lot of people get overly excited about his protection ability, but you're better off with magic or spell resistance or defense resistance usually. I mean, yeah, if you're dealing with breath or martial, there's not much that helps that, but for the most part, you're better off with just healing or a cover tank. And when you want to say like, oh, well, you can do both, can you? Like, if you're bringing a tank and you're bringing a healer, that's 2 of your 5 units. You're going to bring a 3rd unit for defense? Who's going to attack? Because it's a tough thing. With 2 offense, you're probably going to run out of MP. So even units that are really good on MP, when you've only got 2 of them, when they've got to attack something for like 5 to 10 turns, they're going to run out of MP. So I don't think that there's a whole lot of fights where you can afford to bring him instead of more offense. Okay? So, because he's not replacing a tank, and he's not replacing a healer. So, alright, Dimension Dry, I'm going to put him A tier. I think he's like the bottom of the A tier, but he's got Surprise, a strong breath attack. It's a bang attack. Surprise. I know nothing has bang, right? So he's got a strong single target bang breath attack. He's the only bang breath damage, I believe, the only significant one. And then he's got a crack type attack, a physical attack that can move him through the enemy. And he's got the ability to move through obstacles, but that's extremely situational. It doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, he's a good damage. He's a little too fragile to be like super OP, but he's got 2 elements. He's got some decent damage. He's a good unit. All right, what do they call this guy? General Purvis. The JP name was like way different. It's like General Gumai. I would say this guy's near the top of the A. He's got a good his leader skill is buffs beast physical, which is a lot of good units. He's got a strong zap attack. He has a pull attack. A pull zap type attack that can also stun, which is happens often enough to make that a pretty useful ability. And he does good damage, so I really like this guy. He's stronger than I expected him to be. Let me see the other beast units now. Let's talk about the other beast unit. I'll put him right next to King Leo. King Leo has a martial beast leader skill, which helps him, and the other third relevant beast unit. These guys all kind of go together. She is all martial damage, so this is Marquita Leon. He has a strong martial and a strong zap physical ability. His martial ability is typeless. So if you want typeless martial damage, him and Vera are extremely strong, and they play off each other. And then, as far as physical beast damage, these guys are great together. They, he's the better leader skill then. Marquis has a passive. I believe he gets it with his first awakening. Is a passive that increases beast martial ability on even turns. So on turns 2, 4, 6, etc., him and Vera are extremely strong together. But again, that is type neutral damage, so that gets a lot less use in PvE, but they can still be fairly strong. They're generally just going to be choices when they have the correct stage resistances. But it depends on the difficulty, the content, what you got to do. And she is 4 movement for the first turn, or 2, I can't recall. So anyway, they're both pretty agile, especially the first turn. Alright, this cat, Kaleidocat, I'm going to put it at B tier. It's pretty strong. It's got a strong physical attack that can lower defense. Part of its usefulness is that you can get it fully awakened through Arena. So it's going to have a fairly high wisdom because you can get all those awakening copies on it, which you may not be able to do with other units for a long time, especially when you're a new player. And also, this might sound silly, but if you follow guides, which even the longtime players and relative whales like me, I follow a lot of guides. Because this is a unit that everybody has access to, a lot of guides use it. And besides the fact that it's also fairly good, and they may be using it anyway, but the guide makers try to stay with common units, and this is one of them. So that alone is reason to want to rank this guy up if you like following guides. Again, it's fairly strong too. So I didn't put it on this list because I don't know anything about it. There is a new what do they call it, like Schmitzenspiel or something? I don't know, some German name. Some Black Knight dude that is going to be available for arena points right now. He's got an AoE crack attack. He's probably fine. I don't think he's very strong. I don't know. I haven't heard about him from anything about him from other JP players, so I'm going to guess that he's fairly just meh. I'm sure he's got plenty of use, but he's just meh. So there's other things to worry about. Dread Dragon, most useless piece of crap. Yeah, I mean it's between. I mean, which one is more useless, him or Archdemon? I'm gonna say Sizz Dragon just because he was crap right from the beginning. Just completely worthless. This guy the entire time. There's no merit to him. Now. JP got him at launch. I think that was their first banner unit. So they had access to Sizz before us. We had a long time with literally no Sizz units. Even then, he's still crap as the only Sizz unit. Still crap. Alright, more Sizz units. We've got, what's his name? I still want to say Tomahawker sometimes. Jeez, the arena dude. I still Halberdsaurus. Yeah. He is getting he's a little bit dated now. He's still fairly strong. He's got a good AoE Sizz breath attack, so it's great AoE damage. Single target, it's very mediocre at best. But the guy's got a great kit. He's got a spinning attack that does some decent damage. And then he also has an attack lowering physical strike, which makes him very useful in a lot of guides. And just like I said about the Kaleidocat, Halberdsaurus is another thing that is still worth ranking up because you're going to see him used in a lot of guides. And I use him a lot right now on the Blossoming Doors because he is the go-to unit for attack lowering. And is AoE breath can, Sizz breath is still pretty relevant too. So yeah, not one of the most exciting units anymore as when he first came out, but still fairly strong. Rough is the strongest whoosh type unit. Well, he is at this moment. He's going to be put in the dust by Nocturnus, but I believe he's going to be a pretty strong arena unit because he's forward movement, high attack, and if you need a whoosh element, he's going to be a really great option. Yeah, he's probably going to be replaced by Nocturnus, but he's pretty strong. I'm going to leave him at A just because he deserves to be right now. He's probably going to get knocked down by Nocturnus, though. Ashlyn. I don't know anything about Ashlyn. I think that she's A tier because she has a very strong Magic Burst ability. I don't know about her other spells. This is one of the few units I don't have. But, yeah, if you get her, that's great, but you should only be getting her with tickets right now. She's not going to be on the hero banner, and you shouldn't be spending any gems on her. Alright, alright, Valencia, let me see. Oh, she's on here twice. Okay, pretend this is, Santa Crystalinda. That's the one I forgot. Sorry, this is Santa Crystalinda, the unit that we just got for December. She might be available on the free tickets. I'm not sure how that banner is going to work, but that's the only way you could get her right now, unless they add her to the general banner, which JP got with the 1 year anniversary. We got it early, but without the holiday waifus, beast waifus. Anyway, Crystalinda is fairly strong, but she's a bit dated. JP just blossomed her. We will probably get her blossom next Christmas. So, I don't know what to say about her. Yeah, she's not unworthy of an orb, but you probably can't get her right now. And there's way better options. Terry is not very high on JP tier list, but I believe he's fairly strong. There's still not a whole lot of zap units. He can heal himself, so I'm sure you'll get some great use out of this guy, but he's definitely not an S tier unit. But yeah, if you get him with your tickets, you should be very happy. I'm sure he's fairly strong. Yeah, don't get too excited about JP tier list, by the way, either, or any tier list. This is just me. I'm just a fairly average player, okay? I just wail a little bit, and I'm just one of the few guys willing to make YouTube videos for you guys. But anyway, yeah, this is just to help a new player that knows nothing. Don't get too excited about tier lists, okay? You know, on the right stage, even these B and C tier, B, C, D, the D tier units, they're pretty much complete garbage, but even the D tier can be useful on the right fight, but you still shouldn't put resources into them. And then Hell Butler, sorry, what do they call him? Barbados, I think. I don't know if he's A or B tier. I'm gonna say B tier. I think Platt got him, and Platt really likes him, but I'm gonna say that he's B. He's got a Sizz later skill, which is only a handful of Sizz units, and I don't know if it's general Sizz potency or Sizz spell potency, which is even more limited, but that and, let me see, his other element, I'm pretty sure he's got a bang attack. I can't recall. I'm not joking, everything has a bang attack now. I could be wrong, I can't recall. Maybe it's, I don't know, he has a crack or a bang attack with him. I'm sure he's fairly strong, but I don't know if he'll be on the free banner. But otherwise, you won't have the ability to get this guy anyway, so you don't really need to worry about him. But, yeah, pretty average. And that's it. Okay, a little bit under an hour. Yeah, I can't make these not detailed. Believe me, I went fast on some of these guys. There's just so many units right now. And this is your comprehensive Dragon Quest Tact tier list for the first year, okay? I'll try to make another one of these in a couple of months when we get a handful of more units. Again, I mentioned I'm semi-retirement. I can't promise videos anymore, but I don't know. Somebody got to do something sometimes. So I know Mad puts out his unit reviews, but you know, it doesn't necessarily help a new player that much. Anyway, I hope somebody enjoyed this, and good luck with the first year anniversary. Guys, my Discord will be in the description. Go there and ask questions. Go to the Reddit. Go to the main Discord. I'm not allowed in there anymore, but I'm sure there's still some useful people there. This is the kind of thing. This is the kind of game where you're going to have to ask people in the community rather than finding a guide more often than not. So, good luck, guys. Don't be afraid to join my Discord and ask questions. There's other helpful people there too, and just good luck in the first year, guys.